Hi, everyone online. Great to see you too. So beautiful. We have an interesting class for us today. So I want to start with the note that you probably already discovered that doing the spiritual work is not an easy thing, isn't it? It's not easy just to, even though you know what needs to be done, and we break it down for you so simply, and the principles are down to earth. But when push comes to shove, to change is a very difficult thing. So as part of our classes, we realize that for change, we have to have the assistance of the divine, of the light force. This is the main addition to any kind of self-help course that you can do out there. And there are like thousands of them today. It's all over. So many people, very well spoken. And I did many of those myself before Kabbalah. But I know that the real transformation that happened in my life, even though I was very invested and I took a lot of courses and I read a lot of books and I had a lot of knowledge about my ego, but for some reason, I stayed selfish. And when I came here, things started to shift. Now I'm a little bit less selfish. So, but what's the point? It's because when you study a lot and when you're making a lot of attempts to transform and change, you see that you have to have assistance. So as part of this course, I want to leave you with specific tools that are going to help you. They are not, we've been using the Zohar as a tool. We've been using the different formulas as the tools. But today I'm going to present to you that actually there are timings that we can use to connect in a stronger way. What does it mean? Because we know time affects us. It's part of who we are. We born, we grow, we mature, we get old, we die. So there is this sequence of time that is very important to us. And it seems to be that time is part of our experience, isn't it? There is process and there is time. We always try to bypass time, space, and motion. It means that time, space, and motions are those things that define the physical experience of life. Would you say? Yeah? So time means in order for me to get from one place to another, there must be a certain time I have to pass in order for me to get there. Yeah? And also there is this distance, space. Yeah? And I have to be in motion in order to get there. It means that everything is in motion. Everything, the atoms, everything is in motion. Now, but cycles, as the cycle of a day, the day itself, we have night and day. Yeah? Why is it like that? There is reasons for that. When the creator thought about creation, he assigned those windows and days that we can actually bypass and act the system of the tikkun. Why the creator did that, as the Kabbalist tells us. Why the creator should allow us to go not through earnings. Why do you think? It's a question for you. Because when we decided to come to this physical realm, we said, Creator, we don't want any free gifts anymore. We want to go through earning. We want to go through the difficulties. We want to go through experiencing ourselves, the lack, and overcoming it ourselves. We wanted that. Yeah? But why the Creator should give us those kind of bonuses or openings when we can connect without earning? Why do you think? It's a difficult one. People online maybe knows?
No comments right now.
We want to be co-creators. That's the reason we decided to go through this evolution of tikkun, we'd say, yeah? But why the creator gave us different openings when we connect and earn energy, but without making tremendous effort. Okay, so we said that there are windows in times, there are times of connection. Maybe let's go a little bit through let's explain what are windows in time, okay? So just as there are physical windows in times to plant seeds, there are also metaphysical windows in time to plant spiritual seeds that bear fruit in our life. There are optimum times to make decisions and connect to certain energy, and times that it is better not to do so. So it means that the year by itself, it's divided to openings where doors are open in front of us and we can see more clearly, and when things are completely shut, and it means that it's considered to be times of judgment, times of negativity. You know, our experience is changing like wave from mood to mood, even during the day. You notice that? Some things, you know, where you wake up in the morning, you feel great. You feel that something in the energy of that day make you very awful and very energetic. On the other end, something can happen later on in the afternoon that suddenly I lose my energy. And we're running from those wave to waves. So the Kabbalists explained to us that if we knew the different timings when there is a wave in the ocean that you can catch, and it can give you a lift to a different realm without the effort of swimming to arch against the waves. There are times that we're going against the streams, and as much as we push, nothing happens. And there are times that with zero effort, we just feel like everything is flowing to us. We are in the zone. We are connected. True? So this is the point. But why? The question now, we're back to the question. Why should the divine, the creator of this cosmos, allow those things? Why should everything be flat and we just need to make the effort? And that's it.
Because you experience the opposite, so that you understand what the positive is.
Okay, that could be an answer. Any other answers?
This is what you're here for, to overcome challenges.
That's for sure. But why we have those openings when things are going easy?
Because it would be too much.
That's a good question. I like this answer, yeah. The idea is that the word of correction, or as we call it, the illusionary reality of the five senses could be so overwhelming. So the creator that wants us to win the game the game of life had to create different breaks from the word of the opponent. Without it, probably wouldn't make it. Now, most of us are not really aware of that. We're not yet aware that there are time zones, there are times, days of connection. Sometimes we feel it, but we not necessarily see it as a cycle. Okay? So the year by itself, a year by itself, it's 365 days, you know, plus minus. In the Hebrew, year coming from the word shinui, transformation, meaning that every year, this cycle that happens, allowing transformation. So, and been giving to us different openings during the year to transform ourselves. So we can also act and bypass the word of tikkun. Yeah. So in those timings, in this tool that we're going to learn of today, well, we're going to understand that there will be times that I can plant seeds and they're going to sprout. I can imagine something and it's going to manifest. I can meditate to overcome something that I don't like in my ego, and it can be easier to dissolve and to remove from my life. This is the assistance of the cosmos that's been put to us. Now, if I live life without knowing those things, you know, I'm obligated to go through ups and downs without even knowing why it is happening. Why there are days that are so harsh. Why there are days that I feel connected and everything flows. Something happened there? Okay. So we're back to the tree of life. So we know that we live in the physical world, which has only 1% experience of the totality of everything. Now we discover that even the worlds of atom is only 5% of the totality. The rest is actually dark matter. They don't know even how to define what is dark matter is. It's behind the world of atom. That's how space really operates. But we live in this experience of physical reality where it's so limited. Now, above that, this is already the flawless universe. This is the world behind limitations. This is the world we call the tree of life. This is the world where the spirit exists. It's not about something tangible that we see, feel with our five senses. Yeah. So every time that we have access to something that is beyond, it means that we are actually accessing one of those sphirot which are above the physical reality. It means that I'm no longer limited by my senses. That's the point. Yeah. So as much as I find myself less limited by my beliefs, by my fears, by my ideologies, but what I see, what I feel, as much as I experience something that is much and behind it, that's how I actually can grow. The growing is not trying to make sense of everything that I'm experiencing. The growing comes when I'm connecting to something which is behind and above, which is the light force. Okay? Now, the light force, we know that is something wide and has a lot of branches to it. Now, here we see that there are only the 10 spheroid, but you can break it down to so many other branches. But the different time zones that exist out there, allowing me access to this flawless universe. That's the whole point. And that's the reason things seems to be easier when I'm emphasizing a connection during this time. Okay? So in the book Days of Power, by the Rav Berg, he says, Kabbalah, however, absolutely and completely rejects the remembrance or recognition as the basis of holidays. In place of commemoration, a Kabbalist focus on connection. That is opportunity to tap into the unique energies that exist at the specific point in time that we call holidays. With this in mind, the meaning of the title Days of Power become clear. The holidays are literally power source that we can access using the teachings and the tool of Kabbalah. Those tools include prayers, ceremonies, Bible, the Zohar, and continuing. So days of powers, as we know that, let's go through them because the holidays is just one of them. What are the different types of holidays out there? So what would be the different access point that we have? For example, during a single day, okay, like from day to night. So early mornings, we know that if you wake up before sunrise, sorry, before sunrise. There is a when the sun is in the horizon, they say that this is the most merciful time of the day. How many of us wake up early in this hour? Yeah, now you don't need to make too much of an effort because the sunrise is so late. It's it's about 7:47, I think. But this is the most merciful moment of the day. So it's perfect to meditate on that time. Yeah. Now, there is what we call after midnight. Okay, so after midnight, also things are shifting and changing. Now, from that moment in the day, we're going through what we call the tikkun. Yeah. So after that moment, you're going to work, you're going to deal, you negotiate, you argue, you fight, you try to make a living. Therefore, this is where the tikkun is. So before you go about the tikkun, will be better to plant a seed for the day. Yeah, that's the reason. You don't want to meditate after the day is gone and everything went wrong and you were so reactive and you lost and you drain all your energy. You do it in the very beginning of the day. Yeah, that's the time that you actually want to connect. You want to meditate and you're creating the day. And you bring it from what we call the most merciful time. Noontime, for example, all the noon, afternoon towards sunset, they say that this is time of judgment. It's time of judgment. And if you pass sunset, if you pass a bit sunset, it says that most of the crimes that happens in the world happen during this time of sunset towards darkness. So interesting because it's a transition from day to night. Yeah. So all the energy shifts, and they say that there are many negative angels that are descending to the world. So this time that we need to be very careful. So this is also understanding. This is timing that we need to be cautious. And past that time, towards midnight, also there is another shift. This is a positive shift. So why it's a positive shift? It could be a positive shift unless we go in and we just becoming reckless and partying all night, like many people do, and they drain all their energy. It means that it's fun, but they could do many foolish things during this time, and we unfortunately can lose a lot of energy. But the moment you assign this time after midnight, and it's the midnight that I'm talking about, it's not exactly the midnight that we know, according to the clock. It's a bit different. Sometimes it can occur from 11:30 up to 1:30. Depends on the time of the year. So it's something that you can check, by the way. There are different calendars that you can check. When is this switch happen? Because it's related always to sunrise. So sunrise, and then you have to divide it to 2. There is a certain calculation, but it's a very scientific calculation, yeah? So in any ways, this shift allows us really to connect in a special way and prepare the day. So anyone that doing spiritual things after midnight is promised to be protected for the day after. So you're creating a strong protection shield for your day.
Yes. So David, speaking of after midnight being a special seed planting window of time, like, is it not like, I mean, shouldn't we be sleeping? Like, why? Like, I mean, I'd love to get up and do all, but like, what happens if we want to go to bed early and we have to, like, I mean, if we're going to get up to do the early morning and then you're going to be up all night to midnight, like, what's like, how do you stay up and do the seed planting?
Yeah, it's very important. We know these days that there are many researchers about how important the sleep as a repairing mechanism. But someone that goes to sleep before 8 p.m., They say that every hour that you sleep until 12 count like 2 hours of sleep. You know that? Because all the Kabbalists, they shut down immediately after sundown. When there is a sunset, they go to sleep. That's a sign, time to sleep. And they wake up usually and study during the midnight night. Yeah? And some of them will do it all night, and some of them just take an hour and break. But we're not a Kabbalist, don't get me wrong. So you can either go to sleep, midnight take place from the midnight, now it's about 12:15, something like that, up to the nets, up to sunrise, which is around 6 a.m., 5 something. I don't remember exactly. I can check. Let me check quickly. No, my phone is not here. So, okay, so you can choose timing, a slot of half an hour that you wake up specially for that, study, go to sleep. Good luck with going to sleep, because sometimes you become so energized, you cannot go to sleep. That's the difficulty of that. That it's so energizing this time to learn and to study, or to create the intention for the upcoming day, that it's very hard to go to sleep afterwards. Let's say if we're scanning the Zohar, if we're doing a meditation, something like that. So for me, it's very hard. So what I do, I wake up 4:30. I tell you my schedule. I wake up 4:30, study for an hour, then going to the gym, and then doing the morning meditation. Yeah. But sometimes I have to go to sleep very early for that, like 9, 9:30, 10, and that's allow me to have this break. In the winter, it's much easier. In the summer, much more difficult, because the sunset is very late. Okay? But the bottom line is that eventually, if you make a use of these windows, you're supposed to be more energized. And it's all about habits. So in the beginning, if you're not used to wake up in the middle of the night, it's going to be very difficult. But the restriction, just waking up, it's revealing a lot of light, because it's very difficult to wake up after you went to sleep, isn't it? It's very difficult. So just this effort by itself reveals a lot of light. So I recommend it. Try it out, experience it for a few occasions, because the first time probably it's going to be completely suffering just to wake up. And some people, they stay awake and they take advantage. So they stay awake up to, let's say, 1:30, and the midnight time they use for half an hour of meditation. Okay, you can do that too. Okay. So this is the daily one. This is on a daily basis. Now we have, and some of you already know, we have what we call the Shabbat, which there is a shift of energy that changes just after sunset on Friday and take place for 24 hours window. That they say that we are accessing the level of Binah. Binah in the Sfirot, look how far is it? Binah is here. So it means that we're climbing from here up to here. Yeah? Imagine yourself, what a source of energy that's available for us on a weekly basis, So this is what's called the Shabbat. Shabbat is it's coming from the word strike. What we're striking says, okay, on the 7 days, the Creator stopped. But it's not that the Creator stopped. It says that actually the world of correction stopped. What does it mean? It means that Satan, the opponent, is not necessarily functioning on that day, if I allow it. If I do mundane things and I look at that day like I look at any other days, of course, the opponent will be there. But I can allow the energy of Satan not to interrupt me, and I can fully charge. Now I'm charging for the whole upcoming week. So we show how we're charging for the day. Now we show how we're charging for the week. Yeah. And the next thing is how we charging and planting the seeds for the month. That's what we call the new moon. So every new month goes Kabbalistically according to the new moon. And that's how we assign also the sign of the zodiacs. Yeah? So the sign of the zodiac, we have 12 signs. It means that every new moon, there is also a shift in energy, and that energy will exist, take place for the entire 30 days. Now, as everything in this world, dark, light, the month also consists, some of is positive scales and some of these negative scales. Yeah. So meaning we need to be aware by knowledge, by studying, what is really taking place on that month. But more important is how to plant the seed on every new moon. Says that new moon is the ability to renewal. It's called in Hebrew chodesh. Chodesh comes from the word renewal. I have an ability to renew all my energy. Okay? What does it mean? So let's say now we are under the sign of Sagittarius. Yeah? Sagittarius, this is the energy that controls. What do you feel about this month so far? How is it going? Birthday boy, how is it going? You like it? You feel at home? It's a home game. So what do you think about this month, for example? It's pretty nice, yeah? But you're not a little bit too, it's not too much sometimes a month? You don't feel it's too, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
But then a lot is happening since I started following a couple months ago.
Yes. Yes. So this month is very positive, very happy, very energetic. It's one of the best months. And it's also considered to be the month of miracles. Yeah. But we also need to be aware of the downfall of this month. We need to watch our mouths because we can say everything with no filters, and we can be very impulsive and too energetic sometimes. So all of those things we need to be aware of. But the main focus and the signature of this month that we can actually have the ability, we're receiving a cosmic extra energy to overcome our reactivity. I don't know if you feel that, but you feel that things that you never dare to overcome, you suddenly have the power to do them. It's very interesting about this month. And therefore, what happens when you do that? Miracles take place. When you have the strength to act so much and behind who you are, that's where you connect to the realm of miracles. Okay, so you would see that here in the center and online, in all the other centers internationally, on the new moon, we usually gather. Gathering is bringing all the mind-like people together, and we join forces. It's much more powerful to set an intention in a group than just doing it by yourself. So it's always good to gather on that and say, I want this month to be super successful. And some months considered to be negative. You know, you will see that during the entire year, there are more difficult months than easy months. That's the way it's assigned. Meaning that usually a month like Sagittarius, it's a huge break. You know, so after Scorpio, you need that, yeah? So it's interesting. It's like you're going through this wave of difficult energies. And from the point of view of creation, it doesn't matter. It's necessary. If you keep your happiness level and your determination level, whatever the consequence and the energy in the year, it doesn't matter. You just flow with it. But it's like you have to go to Scorpio and then you are ready for Sagittarius, like you earn Sagittarius. And that's how the calendar pretty much goes. There's months like that. You earn it, and then after Sagittarius, you jump into Capricorn. Capricorn considered to be an heavy, yeah, it's heavy. It is considered to be one of the negative months of the year, by the way. I love it because I born on that month, and so I feel at home. But The month of Capricorn, it's like, you're very, you see the luck. You see that you are the only one to remove that luck. So it all depends on your status and the hard work. And this is not the point of life. Capricorns need to understand that gaining things in life, it's not through their hard work. It's only through their connection to the divine. So this is about full moon, new moons, and now full moons. Full moons take 15 days from the new moon to be full. So it's exactly 2 weeks. And the full moons also represent, what does it represent? It represents the meetup, the alignment between the sun and the moon from our perspective. Because if someone's going to look at the moon from Mars exactly in the same time, you're not necessarily going to see it full, isn't it? It's going to see a completely different story. So we see it, this triangle between us, the sun, and the moon is very important. So what happens really, there is a merge between the light of the sun to the recipient called the moon. And when this happens, it means that some energy force is available for us. And he says that this is a very powerful day to connect. So it's another thing that we need to remember. Okay? So now we're coming to those holidays that some of us know. When I'm going to introduce some of them, we're not going to go through them in details because there is so much to remember. But what are those spiritual holidays? There are different times that I actually can access energies that cannot access elsewhere. Okay, so the one that is the most famous one, we call it Rosh Hashanah. You probably heard about it. That's considered to be days of judgments. And it means that there is this cosmic computer that calculates everything that's been done during the year, the past year, and put it into this cosmic computer. And according to my doing, it's giving me the destiny of the following year. That's what really takes place cosmically. Not to just the people that believe that this is their holidays. It's a cosmic event. It means that it's happening for all humanity. If you believe it or not, you know it or not, it just takes place. But why we celebrate it, why we connect on that day? Because we can change the decree on that day. So no matter how many mistakes, how much we fall backwards, we can actually on that day, by doing using certain tools, we can change the karma of the up next year. And more than erasing, we can also upgrade ourselves. So it's like the Creator gave us the ability really to act the system of the opponent, to act the system of cause and effect. Because imagine yourself, cause and effect. If you look at all the actions of humanity, now you try to collect them and you put it on one scale. All the negative actions of humanity and all the positive actions of humanity. What do you think you're going to weigh more? What is the ratio, really, of how much we're doing good as humans from a simple reaction, being reactive, fearful, jealous, angry, and all of those things, to actions of selfless, of love, of kindness. So, but how much? So how much? You think there are more action of kindness in the world than actions of reactivity in the world? Is there another answer here? Doesn't look like it. I don't know. I wish, but we're not there yet. Yeah. Look at your day. See how much reactive you are to how much in the flow you are. What do you think? And you are someone that works on yourself. 95% of the people of the work not necessarily work on themselves spiritually. Exactly. Okay, good. Yes.
No, I just wanted to comment. I agree with that. So obviously, the world's, we have to do better. But I thought there always had to be a balance, or else wouldn't things be like way worse? Like, what would you say the scale would be? Like, obviously, we don't have a number, but like, I always thought that the like the
The
positive.
scale has many parameters because not every human equal spiritually in his soul.
But wouldn't okay, so our actions weigh the scale, or maybe our intent? Like, we wake up like everyone here, like you'd say, yeah, we've screwed up today, swore, honked at somebody, but our heart, like our intentions as humans, we're good people, right? So does that kind of outweigh the I mean, obviously, I know we have to do
But there are
restrictions.
consequences of cause and effect to every action that you take, isn't it?
Has it ever been positive on the positive side, or do we know, or like what would it look like?
The idea is that eventually, as you said, have to take place a balance. And part of that system is to bring the balance back. Because if there wasn't any balance, the world will collapse, isn't it? So when we do some work, for example, on Rosh Hashanah, we're not just doing it for our own lives, we do it for the rest of the people that not even aware of that. It means that we need to balance the energy, to remove the negativity, remove the judgment from the entire world. Is that making sense? It means that each and every one of us is playing part in that game of life, but not as an individual. We are all as a collective. It's meaning that the spiritual people that are super connected, when they take an action or when they meditate, they're actually counteracting on a lot of reactivity that happens for many other people. It's vibration. It's all about energy, isn't it? And some people, they can vibrate a lot of energy from them because they're super connected and they're getting it. And some people, when they take a reactive action, they're not even aware that they did something wrong. They're not even aware. So the idea is to bring eventually the world to balance, and eventually the evolution of humanity to come to a place when things are much more positive than negative. And that's what we call the time of redemption. Yeah. So we move the scale to much more that the majority of people are in a state of awareness. So they are more cautious not to be reactive. They're more cautious about the feelings. They are more cautious about saying a negative things. They are more conscious to be kind, even if it's not comfortable. That's the point. So that's the main. That's kind of, they say was the birthday of humanity, Rosh Hashanah. So, and it's related, by the way, to our birthday. So this is the global birthday of humanity, but that's where our personal birthday kicks in. It's very important to understand. Now, what does it mean, our birthday? It's the day that it's been decided that we're going to come here and do the mission of our lives. So every birthday we can reconnect to the memory of what is the mission of our life. Because anyone remembers why he decided to come to this world? Not really, we don't know. So birthday are very, very important. What we usually do in birthday, we like to be treated nice. We like to receive gifts. We like to, to make it super about us. So what do spiritual people do on their birthday? Exactly. They actually becoming selfless because we know that we meant to come to this world to share. So instead of looking for everyone to give you on that day, if you want to remember what's your mission in life, maybe just try to share with everyone that you can on that day. Now it's very tricky because our birthday have two ways to look at. It's the Gregorian calendar, okay? And the Gregorian calendar, according to science, it's not super accurate. Why? Because we decided to divide the calendar to 365 days, yeah? But it's not making a full turn of Earth around the sun. Yeah, it's not making. So if you go year by year by year, there is no real cycle, energetic cycle. So the Kabbalists found a way how to energetically, that the year will bring you exactly to the state of where it was last year. And that's a true cycle, energetic cycle, not a calendar that we called, name on Augustus or Novemberus, all those great Roman empires that they were so full of ego to say, I want this month on my name. Yeah. No, it's more about a cycle, an energetic cycle. So there are ways for you to find out what is your Kabbalistic birthday. Okay, I will show you a bit later on. Yeah. So you have your Gregorian birthday. It's important. That's the day you're born. But if you want to find the true cycle of a year, you need to remember what was your date when you're born Kabbalistically. So what could happen, for example, in terms of the zodiac? And that's where people get confused. That everyone tells them he's a Pisces, but he's so energetic, he's so out there, and it's appeared to be that is the next sign. What is the next sign after Pisces? Aries. What is the difference between Aries and the Pisces? Earth and heaven and earth. Yeah. So say, but I'm not Pisces. What do you want from me? I'm like, I'm the Aries. I'm so selfish. I'm such a pioneer. I want to play. Pisces want to be left alone, want to be quiet, is usually depressed and all of that. Aries is super happy. Yeah. Yeah. So how you would know that? It means that on the Gregorian, you fall on the Pisces, but on your Kabbalistic, you're actually in Aries. And Aries, the Kabbalistic, it's more related to your soul imprint. That's the difference. That's the reason it's important to remember that. And some people fall on the same calendar, but in different days. It's never fall exactly on the same day. Yeah. So that's the reason it's important to know about birthdays and when is my energetic true cycle. Okay. Another important day is, you probably heard about it, is Passover. Passover, it's happening in the month of Aries, on the 15th, on the full moon of the month of Aries, and it symbolizes freedom. What's freedom? We know that the Ram, the Aries, is so childish, is like so obsessed by his desires to receive for oneself alone, like a kid that doesn't care about anyone else beside his needs. Yeah. So it says that we have the antidote on that month to be free of ego. So the reason why we connect on that day, on the 15th month, doing certain things that I show you in the slide, sometimes connections, sometimes different ceremonies, sometimes food, but it's all not for the memory of something that happened 3,000 years ago. It's more about how I can receive an extra energy to overcome, for example, on Passover, the ego. Yeah. And so there are many more other holidays. I don't want to overwhelm you, but what I want to mention that we have these very beautiful holidays upcoming in few days, actually. It's going to start 25th of December, and it's called the holiday of Hanukkah. And it's considered to be the festival of the light. Very special. As you see this month special, it's becoming even more special during those days. So beautiful. We celebrating actually the understanding that in each and every one of us there is this flame of the soul called the light. And we want to empower it and to awaken it and to connect to the side of that soul that we're not familiar with yet. So there are many different things that are happening during this time. If you want, you can join us. We're going to do a seminar tomorrow on Zoom, a free class on Zoom, when I'm going to explain about what you can receive during this time. But it's all about miracle making. It's all about miracle making. Okay? By our understanding that in order for me to connect to miracles, first, I need to believe that I can do the impossible. Yeah? Do the impossible, and by connecting to the right source of wisdom. Yeah? It's the right source of wisdom. Now, there are also times where specific souls decided to descend from the physical reality. This means this is their death anniversary. And it says that why it's become a special day, not a day of mourning, because when a righteous soul decides to depart the world, says that on that day, all the light that he revealed during his lifetime is accessible. Okay, that's something that you probably never heard ever. But what does it mean? It means that I can access, like let's say specific someone, like say Moses, okay? Moses left the world and born on the same day, by the way, on the 7th day of the month of Pisces. Interesting. So he told the creator, leave me alone. I don't want to lead anyone. Let me go with the sheep. That's enough for me. And he says, no, 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 you have to go and lead the people. Say, no, it's not me. Argument of a Pisces, just not to take, leadership. But eventually he did that. But because he did that, and he became the most famous leader in the world, I can connect to the essence of becoming true leader on his anniversary day. That's an example. And there are many, many different figures like that. Biblical figure, Kabbalistic figure, that by just knowing when they left, I'm actually connecting today. Something is very important for you to know, that next day of the calendar, Kabbalistically, it's not like, let's say, what is the date today? Date, 17 Tuesday. When it's going to switch to 18? Midnight. Yeah. So Kabbalistically, the energy shift after sundown. So we already now on the next day. So it's starting from night till day. That's an important difference that we need to understand energetically. Okay, so we are already experiencing tomorrow now. It started already. Tomorrow already started energetically. Is that making sense? So according to the calendar, it's after midnight. But for us, it's just already. So let's say if there is a special day, so you're not waiting till tomorrow to experience it. It means that if it's saying it's starting on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, we know that it starts already Tuesday night, the energy of it, to access it. So it's important to remember that. So this is a verse from the Zohar. Specific judgments come to our world when the sun sets and night descends. At the stroke of midnight, another transformation occurs as the aware, awesome, and compassionate light of mercy appear in the cosmos. According to the wisdom of the Zohar, whoever delves into the study of Torah during this time of mercy after midnight shall merit portion in the world to come. So this is a verse that's just to strengthen what we say. We talked about that, Gregorian calendar, solar cycle, and the lunar calendar, which belong to the Islamic, and the Kabbalistic, which is actually merging the solar and the lunar together. It's a very sophisticated system. We have no idea how they came out with it, but it's genius that to scientifically to find a way to measure a true cycle that we see. So ways for us to be acquainted with all those wisdoms, all those openings that exist. So you can get a Kabbalistic calendar that is printed, and you can also download an app that's called the Kabbalistic calendar. And you will see, as there is a mention of all those dates, different energy, when is the new moon, when is a positive days, when is a negative days, and we can make a use of it. So of course, if we know that there is a negative month or negative day, it's not the best time to take huge decision making that's going to direct our life for the rest of it, isn't it? We want to wait for a time when there is more mercy, more opening, more clarity. And that's how practically we can use it. Okay, so you can connect by downloading or getting yourself a calendar, getting more familiar with that. Eventually, if there is a certain holiday that you would like to study about, there is what we call the Days of Powers that have been written. It's 2 volumes where it describes all the different openings. There are like a bunch of about 21, 25 different holidays during the year. So with those, we can get truly an extra oxygen to our tank so we can deal with our tikkun. That's the whole purpose of it. It's a technology. It's not to celebrate. It's not to memorize something that happened culturally or religiously. It's just to charge us with energy that's going to allow us to jump into our tikkun and make it quicker. So this is assignment for you for the week. Start taking action. So if it's the nighttime, if it's the morning time, whatever you decide, just to exercise it, just to experiment with it, to the degree, to the level that you want, and see how it feels. You know, as we say, the proof is in the pudding. It's have to work. If it's not working on the first time, try a few times. But definitely you will see that it's shifting and changing your energy. Yes.
With waking up at midnight, if you were already awake, does that count? Or do you
Yeah.
have to be asleep?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, it's a bigger restriction and bigger effort for you to wake up after sleeping, but it doesn't change the energy of midnight. It's still the same.
We also said that it's not really midnight for our clock.
Yeah,
So
but now it's
what is the
around
time?
12:15.
12:15?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's at times, but now, if we're talking about this time,
This week.
this month, it's 12:15. That's the range there.
Okay.
So let's say by 12:20, you're actually into this different.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Or even if you wake up just 1 hour before sunrise. It's also good. Yeah. Yeah. So the midnight time, as we said, is between midnight till the morning, till the first light. Okay. Yeah, that's work too. That's what I do. Because as I said, if I wake up in the middle, I will never be able to go to sleep. It's too much. And then I ruined my. More questions.
I'm problems. You wake up, okay, can you talk me through it, what that looks like? You wake up and.
What do you like to do when you practice your meditation and spirituality? What do you like to do? Because if you wake up, especially, you can even study, even listen to recording, take a class, scanning the Zohar, doing a breathing meditation. Whenever you choose, you already access a window that can ripple so much stronger than if you're doing during the day.
Got it. Okay, so it really is like,
Yeah.
pick your own, it's your preference.
Yeah.
Tapping
Of
in.
course, I would recommend the Zohar because the Zohar we know is very, very powerful tool to use. Yeah.
When you say moderni, like in the middle of the night, if you're holding something and then you will happen, so you say it twice
No, you usually say it in the morning.
in the morning.
Yeah, that's the time. Yeah. So if you wake up especially for that, you say it.
LDI, do you have any of the prayer books? Do you have any of the prayer books?
The dialing God.
God, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a bit
Yeah, that's
more,
another.
more advanced than what
Yeah.
we want to talk to
okay.
today. Yes.
There's a book that I know for sure is on Kindle. I don't know. My friend who introduced me to Kabbalah told me about it, and it's the 30 days of the Zohar, and it guides you through. Like, do you want to talk about
Yeah,
it?
we have it
The
here.
30 workbook.
We actually have a challenge that me and my wife created around that. So, yeah. So I think is it available to purchase this challenge eventually?
Yes, we actually do it. We have it on the store, online store. So it's you will receive the workbook,
And the
PDF,
recordings, daily meditation.
and daily meditation from Tamar. Yeah, 30 meditations for each day.
This is
Yeah.
an amazing challenge.
Yeah, is it the same one that I saw on Kindle? Did you guys write that?
I guess if it's the 30 days.
Do you have it there?
I didn't know we put it on Kindle.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't know it wasn't.
Okay, it's like, and my friend in San Diego told me all about it.
So probably it could be that we put it on Kindle or like Amazon books, whatever.
Cool.
So if you sign up with the Lidesh, he can
Yeah,
send
I
you
can
a
send
daily recordings of it.
So David, I'm checking here online and it
Yes.
says midday 12:14 and then sunset 4:42.
No, midnight,
Midnight.
not midday.
Okay, got it.
Okay, let me show it to you.
Midday, there is some kind of a transition towards more judgment. Midday. You want to check here? Yes, so you're right. Midday is like midnight.
Okay. So here it
So it
is.
doesn't matter because it's because the day divided to two. So if they say midday here, it's actually
So it's from 12:14 to 4:42 is the window of.
no, you need to come here. Dawn, 6 to 12. So
I will
from
show you.
midnight till dawn, that's
Yeah.
the window that we call night. Okay? Till dawn. Dawn is 6:12.
6:12. It's done.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much. That was really interesting. So when we talk about like
For
windows,
the mic.
for sure. So when we talk about windows in time, there's these opportunities that exist, I think more universally, like in terms of whether it's daily or like the moon, monthly holidays that like it's easier to pinpoint, like we know when these things are happening. But can we also say that each individual has their own cycles of windows of opportunity that although might be harder to pinpoint, that we can kind of tap into if we allow ourselves to connect. And then each of us also have our own flow of windows of opportunity that might happen in between these times as well. Can we say so?
Definitely. Yeah. When you break it down this way, because according to the wisdom that we teach, every day that you're going through is supposed to correct something that went wrong in your past lifetime. Okay? So let's say if days are very positive to you, it could be that actual day was already corrected from your point of view. You understand? And they say that according to your birth time, for example, it could be like the birth time on a daily basis. That's one of the hours that you are most connected to. So there is also this personal take to it. Yeah, absolutely. But the question is how to recognize it because you're not really knowing. It's hard to pinpoint it, isn't it? But those universal, it means that they can make a service to all of us, regardless of who we are, religion. They are cosmic events. When the Kabbalist talks about windows, in times they talk about cosmic events, means that it's accessible to anyone that want to make a use of it. Yeah? Yes.
Does Kabbalah address the, what is it called? When we have the feeling of deja vu it's like, oh, I've been here before. I know I've done.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you talk about that? How does it address this?
So usually it happens when you travel and you decided on a site somewhere going to Japan, I don't know, and you're getting into this club and you see a certain environment. How do you call those geishas? The geishas?
Oh, yeah.
You said, listen, something seems familiar. It means that you actually yourself been in past reincarnations, somewhere like that, and you're coming to collect sparks So it's look like a deja vu. It's look like you've been there. You've been in that game already. That's what spiritual deja vu is. That you have a memory from the past of that person, of that scenario that you experience it already. That is spiritual deja vu. It's reincarnation.
So does it mean that you collect sparks in the same moment that you recognize? Or
Usually everywhere we go, everywhere we travel in the world, we think we're deciding to go there because there is a nice island and all of that. But in reality, there is a spiritual purpose for this travel. And it's all for the purpose to meet the people that you're going to meet there, to do all the acquaintance, all the exchange of energy, so you can collect sparks. Yeah, it's the Pokemon, exactly. I always use this example, by the way. On the Kabbalah tree, we're going to get more into reincarnation, okay? But everywhere you go, and every person that you meet is all about exchanging those sparks because of past lifetime when those sparks got lost to the shell system. So any person we know, any place we go, everything is important. Every tiny event is all about retrieving back sparks of souls that got lost. Yeah. Yes, Jeffrey.
Just to clarify the morning window, you said sunrise or before sunrise?
Sorry, yes. So it's how do you call it? I forget the name.
Dawn? It's
Dawn.
dawn.
Yeah, so sunrise is 7:46 a.m.
Sunrise is the perfect. It's when the sun is totally in the horizon. Dawn is the first light. It means that the sun is coming. It's not in the horizon yet, but it's already shined certain light. It means that the night ended. Okay, that's the difference between dawn and sunrise. But the most merciful point of the day is when the sun is in the horizon. We call it sunrise. Okay? You can check it. I can give you also, maybe I can send you a link how to break down the day. There is
a website that has all the dawn and like the specific time of each one.
It's called myzmanim.com if you can spell it. But we can send it out to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's similar to deja vu, and bear with me because this may be a little bit strange for me to explain. An experience that I have is it's not exactly deja vu, but sometimes, and I can be in different places, I have this glimpse of, in my mind, of a question that was posed to me or a situation that was in itself like the deja vu, but it's hard for me to grasp it. And it's like, it's almost like, I don't know how to explain this. It has happened many times to me. It's like I'm watching TV and all of a sudden there's this thought, oh, you have to choose between this and this, but I don't really know exactly what it is that is telling me, and then it's gone. Like it's very brief, and then and then some time passes, and I'm doing something else in another completely different place, and the same thing happens, and I can never grasp it, what it is, but I know that there's something important there. I'm very curious about to know why is this happening to me and what.
When you find out, tell me.
Oh my God. It's so hard to explain.
Yeah. You see, the mind is very complex, and there are always communications that are happening, and things that are trying to give us the right messages. It's hard to tell why it's coming, where it's coming.
But it's like, okay.
You know? But as much as you're going to make use of those windows and times, your soul going to be much more emphasized in your life. It means that the soul going to feel more. It means that there is more clarity. So all those things that seems to be vague going to be a little bit more clear.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
If we're coming from a giving place in general, is there really a right and wrong for like, if everything you're doing is coming from this place of like, I want to be helpful, I want to be loving, I want to be kind, then does it really matter where it's directed?
Absolutely. If you're gonna do it with the wrong people, you're gonna abuse it.
Right, and that's where I'm,
There is
that's my,
no, everything need to be measured because, you can only exchange energy with right vessels. You cannot go to the slum and say, oh, let me take care of you people. Because if they are criminal, they can do something that you wouldn't want them to do, no?
but if you are coming with love, then in some way, like they if they don't know how to receive it, you're still offering it. So is it not that kind of selflessness? When you're saying to measure, I find that because I'm just thinking about when you're talking about your mind, like asking these questions and playing these tricks. That's the biggest thing for me lately is like, if I just want to love and do it from a place of just come from a giving place and do the best I can and be kind, I can't ever know who the person is on the other side of that. I can't know for sure. So for me to try to gauge that, it's like if I just don't worry about who it is, just do it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't go to a war zone right now and just.
Yeah, not as extreme as that, but I guess just
But
people
it's-
in our day-to-day
but it's
lives.
example, just to understand that there is also a spiritual war zone of places that you don't want to go. Because you won't be able to handle what's really taking place there. So you're putting yourself at risk.
Okay.
You need to learn how to preserve your energy
Okay.
and to inject it in place that you know that it's going to grow.
That
It's not going to
sounds,
be a black hole.
when you say put it places where you know it's going to be useful, sounds selfish. Like I'm going to do this because I know that's the best thing to do, and then I will have served my time
But
correctly.
it's not necessarily what you think is good. It's maybe according to, let's say, or you're asking people that really understand more where you invest the energy in order for it to
But then you're
expand
giving
more.
to get.
But
It feels like.
But it's not necessarily just for you to get, it's also for the other person to get. Because
Right.
the moment you interact and did something very positive in the right place, it's going to flourish, blessings going to come out of it. For that side and for your side. Remember, we're still vessels.
Yeah.
So without energy, we won't be able to coexist. So it's not about, oh, you can do anything in this world, There are places that I wouldn't go because I want to protect my energy. Why I want to protect my energy? Because when I need my energy to really, for the right places, it's going to be available for me. So there are things that I'm not willing to do.
I'm talking about on a small scale, like doing favors and doing things that are
But
nice.
this is
and
also
giving
because if you're giving bread of shame to someone,
Yeah.
he's going to resent you for that. You
But I did
understand?
something nice for someone the other day, and immediately something really awesome happened for me. Like it
That's
was like a
fine.
small
That
gesture,
could be
and then
too.
something in my day, in my life, I
That
was like,
could be
"Cool, look
too.
at that, that's
Yeah.
cool." So it felt like this instantaneous payoff that I was like, okay, but I don't want to start just like doing a little something over here so that I don't want to be calculated about it. But I was like, whether this person needed what I did for them or received it well or whatever, I felt like, well, then it can't matter. I still there was.
I think it's a good exercise if you're not accustomed to do it, to do acts of kindness, but don't take risk. I mean, if you do it with your circle, with friends, of course, I would definitely recommend to exercise it more, just to get the feeling of it. That's at least I started. But now I try to focus on places that really going to make a huge impact, and not necessarily, oh, I write a card to someone and give, I'm doing things that actually can reveal more light.
Okay.
So you remember we talked about it last class, about what is love the neighbor as oneself. You remember when we talked about it?
It was last week, the 5.
No, the one before that.
Yes.
Unconditional.
Okay, yeah.
You remember? So we talked that when you really help hold someone and help him to change and transform, that's the most elevated thing in the world. So if you take that, for example, say, okay, Creator, Cosmos, I want opportunities to help people to change. I don't want to bake a cookie for them and give it to them. It's not going to change them. It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
It's not going to change them. You understand? So eventually, if you come up to say, wow, I want to be giving opportunities to share with people some consciousness that I learned.
Yes, I had that. I had a morning where I went for a walk, my morning dog walk, and I said, show me how I can do good today. Like, show me how I can help today. Like, I said it out loud. And a friend was in crisis. And it felt like I could step in here and I could actually be quite useful. And I was. And then since then, I've been like, holy shit, like I can act, like I really can ask. And it's like, there you go,
Absolutely.
which is like wicked awesome. It's just, I just get a little bit stuck when I think about where the limit is, like in those opportunities, because
You have to explore it. We don't know.
okay, yeah,
We don't
okay.
know, and you have to be cautious not to share too much, too little. You need to also have that as a divine help, you know? But you see, you ask and you receive the opportunity. And if that's going to be our main focus and not just to share to be kind just with physical things, it's really to really make an important impact on another person that, wow, he said, wow, it helped me, something shifted in me. Can you imagine? You know? So we don't know what we can do. Someone can be
But that was my first
thinking,
question. I don't know how
but
it's gonna
someone
land.
we don't know what's going on in someone else's mind. Someone will thinking to commit suicide, and suddenly someone came to him and gave him a book, and it happened to us many times that he received a book and decided not to commit suicide because of that. You know,
So keep
wow, you
giving
saved the life of
latitude.
the person.
Okay, yeah, I definitely, my initial question wasn't on like a big scale. It was more in you're saying elevating, helping a person.
Yeah, but you see, we have certain limited time in our pocket. Yeah. So either we use it for things that are not super meaningful. They could be nice, but they're not super meaningful, or we can use them for that. And then the receiving part from the creator is, wow, it's like a lot. It's helping me to change. We call it transformative sharing. I help someone else to change. The energy that comes back help me even to change and to grow. And that's meaningful. All right? So this is our last class. We're going to do Kabbalah tree. So tomorrow we're going to have this decoding Hanukkah. You can connect, you can scan the barcode. Also, we're going to celebrate together the initiation of that holiday we talked about, the festive of the light Hanukkah. You're welcome to enjoy it. It's going to be a free event here in the center, in person. And we also going to have an experience of the energy of Shabbat together. But it's more than this regular Shabbat day, because there is what we call it's within the frame of Hanukkah, so it means that you get two in the price of one. And it's in the signature, because every Shabbat has a different signature to it, and that's related to prosperity. So you can come, you can meet the community. Some of you have been already, some of you haven't yet. So you can come and join us with dining, consciousness, good atmosphere, celebrating. And then we're going to have another cosmic event that somehow meets between the lunar and the Gregorian calendar together. So it's going to be the 7th candle of Hanukkah, the new moon of Capricorn. We talk about new moon, and the new year of 2025, which, since it became so important to so many people, it's this importance also creating an energy field. You understand? How many people are going to celebrate on that day? Billions of people. Yeah. So it's also an energetic field. But what is interesting that it's followed on the new moon of Capricorn, which is beautiful. So you can connect to that. So this is going to be also me and my family farewell party, because we assigned to move to a different country as part of our journey. So we're not going to be here in presence for a little while. We're moving to a little bit warmer country, Brazil. Yes. So every some years, there is a change of energy. We're going from places to different centers. So we've been assigned to move there, and we're just going to have this party, and the day after we're on the flight. So the Kabbalah tree that we're going to do, I'm going to do from there on Zoom. Okay? So you are welcome to connect here. I think it's more energetic when you come here, and I'm just going to move into the TV.
Are you in São Paulo?
Yes.
Oh, wild. That's wild.
Of course it's wild. I hope not too wild.
No.
For me.
Yeah, exactly.
When is Kabbalah 3 starting, David?
So when is it starting?
January 14. It's
January
gonna be
14.
Tuesdays at 7 p.m. the
Tuesday,
same time.
time. You're welcome to join. You can have this same setting with the mentors, and people will be online. I will be online. We can ask questions. We can do it as interactive as possible. And if you cannot come personally, you can always connect from Zoom, from home. So we have this hybrid ability, to connect.
Yeah, correct.
Cool. And you're welcome to come and visit us in Sao Paulo
Woo!
when you want to get out of the chill. Yeah, so
How long did you stay there for?
hard to tell. Few years for sure. We've been here for 5 years almost. Yeah. I'm gonna miss you all, but since we are assigned to do the same work, same thing, we're gonna keep the WhatsApp. So